I'm at the point now where I have finished doing all my increases. As I said before, I'm making the adult medium, and my gauge was 8 stitches, so I've referred to the table in the pattern and I have continued to increase as instructed in the pattern, and now I am at this stage, and I'll show you what it looks like when you open it up. There you can see the center point where we cast on, and you can tighten that again if you need to. And then these are the 4 groups of stitches in between the increases. So you can carry on as you are doing this on magic loop, but I want to make it easier for myself and transfer it onto a 16-inch circular needle so that I can just easily knit round and round and round. Now at this point as well, you can, if you prefer, take out the stitch markers, but I actually like to leave them in. And when I am moving this, because it makes it easier when I come to do the decreases after doing the tube, especially if you're a beginner as well, you might find that much easier. I will be adding a stitch marker here, and I will be putting this onto the needle. And the way that I do this is so now I've completed my increases. Every row is just knitting round and round and round until you're happy with the length. You can go to the length stated in the pattern, or as I do, I knit until I have about 10 grams left of my yarn, unless I'm saving some for my blanket where I'll do 15. But yeah, generally I'll when I'm getting near to the end of my yarn, because I'm using the 4-ply, I will, and I only want to use 1 skein, I will knit my central tube until I have around 10 grams left, and then I'll be able to start the decreases. But I'm going to show you now how to transfer it onto the 16-inch if that's what you'd like to do. This is my 16-inch 3mm needle, which I am going to transfer it onto. If you've been watching my beginner series, you'll know that ChowGoo is my preferred needle. I like metal needles, and I love the cords on these. So I will get this out. Now, unfortunately, this might be a little bit tricky to do on camera, but I might make a bit of noise, sorry, but I did want to show this part of the process because I know this might be quite daunting if you are a beginner and you might not know where to put your markers. So to make it easier, if you have a needle stopper, I would suggest putting a needle stopper on the other end here of the needle that you're not using to transfer them. We're essentially just going to knit a row round and then transfer them on at the same time, and we'll be adding an additional stitch marker in here, and then we'll be putting our beginning of round marker in. I have an extra circular stitch marker here. That's my beginning of round marker, which I've been moving up as I've gone along. I'm going to take that off now, because once we've transferred all the stitches, we'll be back at the beginning of round. And if you see, I make sure that my beginning of round marker is distinctively different to my other markers, just so that I know that is definitely beginning of round, because it's easy to get confused. I'm going to just pull that back one out a second. Oops, so it's out of the way a bit. It's a little bit hard to do this on camera, I must say. I'm going to move my needle down, and I'm just going to knit across the first half of the stitches, but I am using this needle, which is my new needle, to knit all my stitches. once you get the hang of this, it's not too hard to do. It's just where to put all these extra needles that are getting in your way. Once you've figured that out, it's just knitting. If you do have any questions, please put them down in the comments and I will try to answer them for you. Oh, and if I didn't mention before, the size of needle is 3mm, which is what I was using for the magic loop, and I'm now transferring it onto a 3mm needle. Sorry if you can hear the needles scraping on the desk. I do keep trying to move them out of the way, but it's quite difficult. So as you can see here, I have knitted across the first half of the stitches and they're now on the new needle. The back stitches are on the old needle that we were using for magic loop. I just slipped this marker as normal. Now we need to add another marker, but what we need to do first is to get ready for knitting. So I'm going to move this needle into the stitches here. Then I am going to turn the work so that I'm ready to knit. And at this point, at the halfway mark, we need to add a marker because we didn't have one before because the stitches were split and we don't want to lose our place. I'm just going to move my stitches around so it's easier to do. And then I'm just going to knit across again the second half of my stitches. Now again, like I said, you can just carry on with magic loop if that's the way that you prefer to knit. I find that when I'm knitting on magic loop, for some reason, no matter what I do, and even after blocking, I can see the line where I had my stitches separated. Well, I certainly can on socks anyway, and I do find that I get a much better flow on my knitting if I've not got many stitches on my needle, if I have a small circular. So in this case it's a 16-inch needle, as I said before. I'm really liking the way that this yarn is knitting up. This is the Christmas Day skein that I got in my 2023 Blue Fern Advent. I think it was called Shimmering Bay or something like that. Nearly there now. Now I've just noticed something as a side note that has happened on my needle here and can happen when you are more frequently when you're doing magic loop, I mean. So when I was doing my last row of knitting, it appears that I have accidentally picked up the this piece of yarn here between my stitches. So I just need to make sure when I get to the end here that I do not knit that and I just drop it off the needle. And I'll show you in a second so you know what that is. And you can see because it looks different. Well, let me move this out of the way a bit. So can you see how I've got a little extra tail here? And you can see that it's the yarn that, I hope you can see, and it's the yarn that connects the two stitches. It shouldn't be on the needle. I've accidentally picked that up. So all I'll do is make sure I don't knit it. Oh, and there you go, I dropped a stitch. That's me being cautious. So I've dropped it off now, but I did actually drop this stitch and let one out, and there you go, you're getting a free bonus tip here. Just gonna put that back like that, swap it back onto there. Because I caught that drop stitch straight away, I was able to quickly pick it up and knit it again. Now we've got all the stitches onto the new needle. Now I'm going to move the old needle out of the way, and you can see it's looking like a lovely hat shape now. And all I'm going to do is pop my beginning of round marker onto the thing. Also, another tip for you, this on a 16 inches I find much easier to knit, but you do need to make sure that you are using your needle stoppers when you're not knitting on it, because it is a lot easier for your stitches to fall off the needle. And I've just done a couple of extra just so to keep that marker on. So there we have it, the Musselburgh hat. We've done all the increases now, and it's back, it's on the 16 inch ready to knit again. And I've still got all my markers in because I find that much easier when I come to the decrease section. So I'm going to continue knitting on this now, and I'll come back to you in the next video and let you talk to you about the decreases that we do at the end. Any questions, just pop them down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.